subdued at last. It begs for its life.
Join me.
It pleads because it knows I am its master. I will
The brain is on the cusp of its final thought, and it's taking all of the Emperor's strength to keep it there. An opportunity, perhaps.
My master. I must obey. I must end.
Hopes, nightmares, and the screams of legions upon legions of unborn lithids. The pain rips through you, obliterating all thought, all feeling. Your tadpole burns in your brain. Silence. For the first time in a long time, your thoughts are entirely your own. And then, gravity. Everything you did, everything you sacrificed, it was worth it. For this.
I can't feel the tadpole.
It's over.
And I didn't even have to turn into a mind flare. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Well, you know.
It makes little difference to me. I did what I had to secure my freedom. And in spite of your resistance to completing your evolution, you have proved a good ally. I'm glad you think so. I did my best.
Skvar, you may have succeeded, but I have failed. Gith's son is dead, and Vlaakith has abandoned me. I will be hunted by her Inquisition to the ends of the world. I must leave. I have nothing more to gain by being here. You helped my people end the Grand Design. For this, I will remember you. But I will not forget what you have cost us. I will remember the fights we fought together. But my next fights will be without you.
The Githyanki are departing in peace. Curious sight in a day already full of them.
With the Githyanki gone, there's nothing left but the silence of the city. Smouldering, waiting to be rebuilt. But it seems that Gale's mind is elsewhere.
The crown. It's somewhere in the Giontha. If I salvage the stones, I can reforge it. The power of Karsus would be in my hands. But what then? What would I do with it once I have it? A wise suggestion. I felt a hubris once before and landed myself with this orb. I think I'd rather not make the same mistake again. If this adventure has taught me anything, it's that there are things in this world far more valuable than power. You, for example. You're always wiser than me when it mattered most. Besides, growing quite fond of this merry band of ours, but I'd quite like to see what happens to it. I'm sure Misra will summon me soon enough, but until then...
I am seldom one to imbibe, but I think we have earned it. No?
Yes. We should see if the elf song's still standing. I won't imbibe, but I'll be happy to be away from here. And in your company.
I will not be joining you. I fear my presence will be no more welcome in the streets of the city than it ever was.
I never thought I'd be sorry to see a mind flayer go, yet here we are. Be safe.
I will miss you, too.
Now that you no longer live in each other's minds, it's hard, though perhaps no harder than it ever was.
I honestly don't mind what we do once we get to the... Ow! What the... Oh, no. Oh, God. Well, it was nice when it lasted. Ah! I'm sorry. I have to go.
Astarion will keep to the dark now, I wager. At least, he'll find plenty to feast on.
We did it, soldier. city's going to be all right. And so are you. Engine's finally cooked. So, how'd I do? So are you. I never gave. It's the one thing I can't beat, isn't it? But life is for them. Goodbye, son. Goodbye, sea. Goodbye.
No, stop. I won't allow this. Karlak, you're coming with me. Back to Avernus. We can't let her die. Not like this. Not now.
You can't.
So, what do you say? Die here now, or live on with the blade of Avernus at your...
Fine. I'll go. Well, but we have to go now. I can't hang on much longer.
It's over. And it's all because of you. You, who were destined to become a thrall. Thanks to you, there will be no Illithid empire, no death god's tyranny. You have earned your place amongst the legends of the Sword Coast. You are the saviors of Baldur's Gate.
It's curious. After all the wonders and monstrosities we've witnessed, waking beside you seems more unreal than any of it. I've forgotten what it felt like. To greet a sunrise without fear of it being my last. It's strange. But somehow I woke up this morning and realized the orb feels different. I hesitate to say it. But I think it's... I'll need to keep a careful study of it. Make sure it's not suddenly destabilized by proximity to a rogue pair of Netherese. That's one worry I can leave behind me at least. It could be. Or perhaps the orb's hunger was fueled by my own. And my contentment influences it in much the same way. That's how I feel with you. Content. It's a rather unfamiliar feeling, I must say. Not something Gale of Waterdeep ever craved. You're now in the company of plain old Gale Decarius, a most brilliant wizard of intentionally limited renown. At your service. Now, I believe this is the moment where I should get to my point, so to speak. I love you. More than I've ever loved anyone, mortal or immortal. And you've proven your love for me in more ways than even the greatest mathematicians would dare to count. That being said, I wondered if you might consider accompanying me back to Waterdeep as a new member of the Decarius clan. You will? Oh, thank goodness for that. We'll need to make the arrangements, of course. The Icarius clan is scattered far and wide, and you'll have invites of your own to send out, I'm sure. But that's all to come. The day is young, and there are thousands more days ahead of us.
Well, soldier, here we are. It worked. My engines calmed down. I shouldn't have let you come here. This isn't going to be easy, you know. Zariel's going to come at us with everything she's got. Gods, like clockwork. They'll be on us soon, but there's just enough time. Thought I was done with these. But then, there was you. Imps are fast, but careless. Don't let them tire you out. Just get rid of them. And don't forget, you asked for this. Better let these fuckers know I'm back. And this time, I'm not alone.
You and Gale have made a home for yourselves in Waterdeep. Sometimes it isn't clear what he loves more, his research or you.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
There you are. Keeping us all on tenterhooks so you could make a dramatic entrance, is it?
There's something strange in your old friend's mouth. What is it? A familiar invitation. He wants you to throw the object he's dropped. But it isn't a ball. It's the astral prism. Scratch barks merrily in something like agreement.
Cool, fresh air. By the living gods, I needed it. There you are. There you are, my friend. Breathe deep. Can you smell it?
You take in every scent the night breeze carries. Sweet honeysuckle, tender violets, and an earthy fragrance you can't quite recognize.
Forest trees draped in moss. A far cry from the rancid Avernus heat that's been clogging my lungs. I swear, Karlach and I have felled enough cambions to build a fortress with them. Who'd have thought that just one of those fiends held the key to escaping Avernus for good? One of them sported a map and some blueprints. If you want all the gory details, Karlach can fill you in. She's kept me on a long leash, if you can believe it. Every target she's set me on's been a demonic intruder. Tanari assassins who slip in. My next target's the most challenging yet, or so she says. I'm not worried. Not when Karlach's got my back. I swear she could scare the up. I've seen him more than a few times. And he's leading the city's renewal. Open the gate. And he's back in his... The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few. Bane's chosen prime the fist for a war they weren't meant, with a few exceptions. Father, he still believes in the bow and the blade. Valor is found not in the... May they all take it to heart. I've missed you too. If I had to do it all over again. Well, or wasting any of the wine for that matter.
Sibu? Boo! We are not... Oh, and it is good to be seen. You... Boo had a moment to lick himself clean. Minsk and Boo have been helping, of course. His Entarum rule the city's on. We awoken his... It is a long walk to the gallows, and Minsk still... In ample time indeed. But leave such... How have you filled your days since we tore the sticky tyrant from the sky? Aha. Though I am there is much this pawn shall do.
Now, there's a face I know well indeed. Ah, my dear friend, it's been... Our skeletal friend will be very pleased to see I found my way here. Oh, I wouldn't bother you with such things during a party. And anyway, you might help me with the title, though. I'm considering the hero and me. What do you think? Me? It's... Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished... Ah, your success. But you mustn't let me hog you...
Hates the air? No more Amni and cheeses for you.
A most welcome old friend. For 2 months I to see your face. It brings me even more pleasure. It's nice to hear it. It's taken a dozen Gish's talents. Worth it, I'd say. I miss this place. This... Shractalor. I wouldn't expect you to. The capital city of the... Our Gish sent word of the rebellion to their god kings. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance. Exactly the reaction I expected. My blade is keen as ever. But it was you. Sometimes, a sincere plea is more persuasive. Minyara Gith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. And if he refuses, I am the comet. My people... But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, soon. I'll be back one day.
Oh, hello. Let me guess, you've got some suggestions about the music choice. You have no idea who I am, do you? I thought Withers might have set the stage. Miliel. Though if the lack of song prayer...
Musical prayers were once offered to men.
I'm washed up, I'm afraid. You know? Finally! The scribe picks an adventurer of substance, of culture! What can I do you for? Fantastic.
So you made it! Now, well, I wasn't sure our withered old friend could live up to his promise. And you're looking more delicious than ever, if you don't mind me saying. Whatever you've been doing, it clearly worked wonders. You've become a traveler and a vagabond. But I'm glad to see the world has treated you well. And where better to celebrate our good fortune? An old haunt with old friends. Cheeky. I've been very well behaved. I've taken a turn as an adventurer and here... It turns out no one actually cares about murder, as long as you murder the right people. And apparently I'm rather good at it. You know me, but yes, there's nothing wrong with being rewarded for good work. And when it comes to killing, I do very good work. I did at first, but then I realized these shadows, this darkness, it's all a part. I spent too long defined by what other people did to me. The choice is, this is who I am, in all my glory, for better. And that being said, I haven't completely given up on return. But until then, we've had quite the journey. From the moment I first threatened you, I will miss our time together. See you later, darling.
You made it! Now the revelry can truly be... You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. Just as I hoped they would, more like. The Oak Father has been kind to... It is one that can weather any distance. Any passage of time. I know it can. Well, I am not normally given to imbibing. But this is... Even the most ascetic of nature's servants would be tempted by... Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all... In that case, our community grows rapidly. In 6 months, we have turned what was the old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Rythwin have been repurposed into new homes. And the land, it is, truly. Though a more complex, evolving beast, we welcome folk from all walks of life. Anyone who wishes for a new start. Naturally, it can be chaotic at times, but you are welcome when... Now, please, tell their appetite for bedtime. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation as it's... I am all ears. Though I never cared for that phrase. I shall be able... Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself. Quite often. They ask after you often. To make a child smile is to dabble with the power of gods, as far as I'm concerned. I spend half my days in ursine form. The children demand... As for roaming, That impulse is dwindling. Before you go, ducks are my favorite, but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. Yet, they always find their way. Just a token to remember me by.
Well, now. You can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to. Ah, how nice to be understood again. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers. Same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon. The upper city has been almost entirely rebuilt. Baldurians simply... Harpers. My own son, Jord, has been wooed to their ranks. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined the Flaming Fist, though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing 8 ones. They might learn a thing or two. If... there is still much to do. For all your travels, I hope... I must
Greetings, O cultured adventure. Your wish is my... etc. What song do you want?
Fantastic. Nice to return to familiar environment.
Oh, shit. Oh, my... Soldier. I've missed you, man. Like, I've really missed you. And you're so... Wars are dirt, but having Will around has been incredible. Fucker's even better at killing devils than yours truly. We don't have much time to chat, but just know... Oh, but hey, guess what we found? Cambion dropped a map with directions and blueprints for Zariel. Our current plan is to get in, grab a smith, and... You haven't seen the last of old Karlak yet, soldier. Trying not to count my owlbears before... Can I look you up when I'm out? Hey, that would be kind of fun. Gods, is it good to see... This won't be the last... Oh, it smells so good here!
Revelry and community on the eve of revolution. Magnificent.
Starting to wonder if you'd show up. Honestly, I'll come here. You feel a little more substantial than before. I'm not entirely sure I'd agree. In fact, I'm glad you seem well. Truly. I had no doubt, but I'm glad to hear you say it all the same. Wandering, mostly. The adventuring life is almost a tonic when you're not constantly threatened by brain monsters and cultists. I can finally see the world beyond the cloister. Peace and quiet will still be there waiting once I've lived a little. Though, don't get me wrong, I've got a little... One of my first stops was the House of the Moon in Waterdeep. It's the largest temple of... It seemed like the perfect spot to reflect on my parents. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Me, of all people, in the lair of the Moon Witch herself. God, your truest act of heroism was putting up with all that char and drivel I was spouting for so long. Oh, I know they are. I can still sense them, I think. And one day we'll be Well, I've had run-ins with my former fellow Sharans on a couple of occasions. Word seems to have spread of what happened at the cloister. Now other chapters of Shar worshippers see me as a prime target to offer up to their lady as a sacrifice. Don't worry. I know their tired old tricks better than anyone. They'll need more than a hooded cloak and poison blade to best me. Especially when I have a friend, none other. I have hopes that perhaps she might turn from Shah entirely given time. I don't know. Which is just the way I like it just now. I'd like to see the islands, but enough about me. What have you been up to? Don't be...
Greetings, O cultured. Your wish is my... etc. What song do you want? Very well.
This has laid out quite a spread of food, for one comprising mostly of bone. Oh, perhaps...
Oh, hello, darling. I wasn't sure you'd make it. Are you? Withers and I have a regular course. Of course, we'd love to see yourself and Gale. I suppose you do. Yes, Gale. We must be now.
You're quite certain I look acceptable? I can't remember when I last wore something other than my teaching robes. Feels a little odd to find myself in something so... That's a relief. I wasn't sure if I'd made too much of an effort. Or perhaps not enough. I won't keep you to myself for too long. But while I have you, teaching at Blackstaff Academy has proven just one of the mirror. Even my own city feels new to me. Now that I share it with you. That you do. I've not had... You've certainly made quite the impression on... I'm just glad you're happy there. When our adventure began, our troop had no standing here. Now, I've missed them. I've missed this. I wouldn't go quite that far. Living without the threat of imminent... As I told you long ago, God knows we did something incredible. Now, much as I could spend an eternity, tempting as it is to keep you all to myself, would be I love you. Now go on, before I change my mind.
Cheers to you.
This one night is like any other. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate. Until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel? Thou givest thyself so little credit. The duty borne by you was... Thou gavest what it was possible to give. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much. What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready. For thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving. To you.
seals. I broke my chains. There's more to do, and I still want to live.
I feel your breath upon my neck, a soft caress as cold as death.
Cold as death.
I feel your heart beat in my soul. Our futures bound, our bodies know. Your blood like wine, I want it in. Oh, darling, get me drunk, invite me. It's not my fault, I'm not to blame. These ain't my sins, I broke my chains. There's more to do if I can only leave. I can't go yet, don't let me die. I'll never stop until I'm done. But just tonight, maybe I'll rest in peace. I feel your breath upon my neck, a soft caress as cold as death. I hear your heart beat in my soul. Our endings bound, our bodies know. I can't go yet,
Don't let me die.
I want to live.
My only one. There's more to do if we can only live. The clock won't stop, and this is what we